Have you ever felt like everyone around you is moving faster than you, like they're confident, successful, and in control, while you're just trying to not fall behind? Maybe you overthink everything. Maybe you doubt your decisions. Maybe you feel like you're not enough. But what if those feelings aren't signs of weakness, but signs of intelligence you've never recognized? Today, science will reveal the truth. You might be much smarter than you think. Sign number 2. You talk to yourself, sometimes quietly, and sometimes out loud. Many people think this is strange, or even a sign that something is wrong. But that idea is completely outdated. Modern neuroscience shows that people who talk to themselves are actually engaging a part of the brain responsible for focus, self-regulation, and problem-solving. When you speak to yourself, you're not being weird. You're guiding your own thoughts. You're giving your brain instructions, the same way a coach guides an athlete through a difficult task. Studies from universities like Michigan and Yale found that people who use self-talk can solve problems faster, stay calmer under pressure, and maintain stronger emotional control. Think about it. When you whisper to yourself things like, "Slow down," "Focus," or "I can do this," your brain responds. It becomes more organized, more efficient, and more capable of making good decisions. So if you're someone who talks to yourself, don't be ashamed. It's not a flaw, it's a sign of a highly active mind, trying to stay sharp and in control. Sign number 3. You prefer to be alone, not because you hate people, but because your mind feels clearer when you have space. Many people misunderstand this trait. They think being alone means being antisocial or disconnected. But according to research from the British Journal of Psychology, individuals with higher intelligence often experience less happiness when they are surrounded by constant social activity. Why? Because your brain is wired to think deeply, and deep thinking requires silence, focus, and mental room to explore ideas. When you're alone, you're not escaping the world. You're recharging from it. You're allowing your mind to reset, analyze, and create. And here's the part most people don't know. Wanting alone time doesn't mean you're weak or disconnected. It means your brain is working at a level that needs space, the same way an athlete needs recovery days. So if you enjoy solitude, don't feel strange. It's not isolation. It's a sign of a highly active and independent mind. Sign number 4. You notice tiny details that other people walk right past. A change in someone's tone, a small object moved out of place, pattern no one else saw. Most people don't pay attention to these things, not because they don't care, but because their brain isn't wired for deep observation. But your mind works differently. According to cognitive science, people with higher analytical processing tend to observe more details, because their brain naturally scans the environment for patterns, inconsistencies, and hidden information. This trait can feel exhausting sometimes. You notice problems before they happen. You sense tension before anyone else. And you pick up on subtle clues that others miss completely. But this isn't hypersensitivity, it's heightened awareness. And it's one of the strongest indicators of strategic intelligence and deep thinking. So if you're the person who always just knows when something is off, science says that's not luck. It's your mind working at a higher level. Sign number 5. You question yourself, sometimes more than anyone else questions you. You replay decisions, you second-guess your choices, and you wonder if you're doing enough or doing things the right way. To many people, self-doubt looks like insecurity. But psychology says something very different. Studies on metacognition, the ability to think about your own thinking, show that people who question themselves often have stronger self-awareness, better judgment, and higher long-term performance. You're not doubting yourself because you're weak. You're doubting yourself because you care about getting things right. And here's the twist. People who are overconfident tend to make more mistakes, while people who reflect on their decisions end up learning faster and improving more. So if you constantly ask yourself, "Am I doing okay?" or "Could I have done better?" that's not failure. That's growth happening in real time. It means your mind is actively analyzing, adjusting, and moving you toward a better version of yourself. Sign number 6. You get bored easily, especially with routine or simple tasks. While other people seem fine repeating the same steps every day, your mind starts drifting, looking for something more challenging, something that actually stimulates you. Many people will call this laziness or lack of discipline, but science strongly disagrees. Research on cognitive stimulation shows that individuals with higher intelligence levels often need deeper, more complex tasks to stay engaged. Your brain isn't underperforming, it's underchallenged. When a task is too simple, your mind automatically looks for patterns, new ideas, or alternative ways to do things. This can make you feel frustrated or restless, but it's actually a sign of a creative and analytical mind, trying to operate at its natural speed. So if basic tasks drain your energy, while complex challenges wake you up, that's not a weakness. It's your brain telling you that you're built for something bigger. Sign number 7. You learn things incredibly fast, but you also forget them quickly. At first, this might feel like a flaw, like your memory isn't strong enough. But neuroscience says something completely different. Fast learners often store information in short-term memory because their brain processes ideas rapidly, focusing on understanding rather than memorizing. Your brain absorbs concepts like a sponge, but it also releases them once they're no longer useful, to free space for the next idea, the next pattern, the next problem to solve. It's not forgetting, it's optimizing. Studies on cognitive efficiency show that high-ability thinkers prioritize meaning over repetition. They grasp ideas quickly because their brain sees structure, logic, and connections faster than most people. So yes, you might forget a detail after a day, but when it matters, you understand things deeper and faster than others. That's not a weak memory. That's a fast-processing mind, designed to move forward, not stay stuck. Sign number 8. You often feel out of place in social groups, like you don't fully fit in, even when you're surrounded by people. You're friendly, you can talk to anyone, but deep inside, you feel disconnected, like you're observing more than participating. Most people assume this means you're shy, awkward, or introverted, but psychology paints a different picture. People with strong analytical or creative minds often struggle to connect in environments where conversations feel shallow, or where people aren't thinking on the same wavelength. It's not that you can't connect, it's that your mind seeks depth, clarity, and authenticity. That's why you feel more comfortable with one meaningful connection than with a room of 20 casual conversations. And science shows that individuals who experience this observer feeling tend to have higher empathy, stronger intuition, and a deeper understanding of social dynamics. So if you feel out of place sometimes, it doesn't mean you're odd or broken. It means your mind is tuned to a frequency that not everyone can hear. Sign number 9. You struggle to start things, even when you know they're important. You delay the first step, you overthink the beginning, and sometimes you wait longer than you should. But once you finally start, something changes. Your mind locks in, your focus sharpens, and you work with an intensity that feels almost unstoppable. Many people think this pattern is laziness or lack of discipline, but psychology suggests otherwise. High-level thinkers often need a mental warm-up before entering a deep focus state, known as hyperfocus. Your brain isn't avoiding the task, it's preparing for it. And when the switch finally flips, you enter a zone where time disappears, distractions fade, and your productivity skyrockets. This is the same cognitive pattern seen in creative thinkers, engineers, and problem solvers with high mental endurance. So if getting started is hard for you, but finishing becomes your superpower, that's not a flaw. It's a sign that your brain was designed for deep, meaningful work, not shallow effort. Sign number 10. You constantly feel like you're not doing enough, even when the truth is, You're doing far more than most people realize. You finish something, but instead of feeling proud, you immediately think about what you could have done better, or what you still haven't done. This feeling can be heavy, and sometimes it makes you believe you're failing. But psychology tells a different story. People with high cognitive ability often hold themselves to impossible standards because they see potential everywhere. Your brain isn't focused on what you did, it's focused on what's possible. And that creates the illusion that you're always behind, even when you're ahead. Studies show that this mindset, when balanced correctly, leads to stronger long-term achievement, deeper self-awareness, and higher personal growth. Feeling not enough doesn't mean you're failing. It means your mind is wired to improve, evolve, and push forward. You're not falling short. You're simply seeing a future version of yourself that you haven't reached yet.